Hi everyone, my name is Emily and I'm a youth services librarian at the Rock Island Public Library, and today I have a special bonus Banned Books Week book talk. And yes, I did decide before I started that I did want the fish in the frame. So the book I've chosen for this video, is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Now, part of the reason for this is this book is celebrating its 100th anniversary. It was published in 1925. Also, I did go to the Fitzgerald Theater earlier this year. I didn't make that connection until I was about to record, but F. Scott Fitzgerald was from St. Paul, Minnesota, and a lot of stuff that happens in this book kind of parallels his life, which, I mean, you might be wondering, why would this book be banned? Well, I will say The Great Gatsby is a story about the early 20th century, or I should say, like the 1920s specifically. It's set in 1922, and so it's the Jazz Age, and it's about drinking and debauchery, and this was during Prohibition, so part of the novel is the fact that, I mean, Gatsby's wealth, this fabulously rich person, he's made his money from bootlegging, so he's a millionaire, but it's not like he's an old money New Yorker. He's very much new money, and he's kind of looked askance at by certain people, especially the Buchanans. Now, Tom Buchanan is married to Daisy, who Gatsby was in love with, but then he went away to the First World War, and when he got back, Daisy was married to Tom. Now, they're neighbors in this very wealthy New York village of West Egg. And Nick, the narrator here, he is actually a distant cousin of Daisy. So that's sort of his connection. That ends up being his in with Gatsby. It's also a book that tries to interrogate the American dream. This is a book that is skeptical of the idea that, well, if you can just get rich enough, you can have all the things you want. But of course, this is a story in which that is not the case. There's never enough money for Gatsby to be happy, because Daisy eventually, like when finally confronted by her husband and Gatsby, she says that she loves both of them, which upsets both of them. But it's 1922, and her husband basically says, go ahead, drive her home, because he's confident his wife won't leave him. So this is also a novel about vehicular homicide. There's a lot going on here that, certainly when it was published, might be rather shocking, even though there were certainly rules about things not being talked about, perhaps, or, oh, well, this is a book about people having extramarital affairs. Well, this is a book in which, like, recognizes people are people, and even when perhaps these things weren't discussed in polite society, they were still happening. Like, people will find ways to be together, people will find ways to find alcohol even when it's against the law, and in Gatsby's case, that's how he builds his fortune. So this is one of those books where it's had certainly a life after its publication. Like, it's had a very long life, and part of that is because it was distributed to soldiers through this paperback book program during World War II. Like, in Fitzgerald's lifetime, this was his third novel, and it didn't sell that well when it came out. He essentially considered himself a failure when he died in 1940. But as more people read this book, and the way it explores this very specific moment in the 20th century, obviously part of the reason it has stood the test of time is because it's specific, and that can make something universal, actually, ironically. It's idea that we should be critiquing the American dream. We should critique the desperate grasping for wealth, no matter the consequences, or no matter the means. The idea is, well, maybe the ends don't justify the means. So if you're interested, check this book out. Again, I've sort of detailed the reasons it's been banned or challenged in different places, but I've also told you those exact reasons maybe will make you want to check it out if you've not read it before, or if you haven't read it for a long time. And thank you for watching. I will see you again soon.